Welcome, everybody. So nice to see all of you. I think we're still getting a couple other people in. Give it just a minute here. Thank you all for coming today to our chapter knowledge series. What's the foundation and how does it fit into CAI? So I see some familiar faces who have been around for a while that are probably familiar with some of our foundation programs, and some new faces, maybe new presidents and staff on this call as well, which is awesome. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Dawn Bauman, who is the Executive Director of the Foundation for Community Association Research and also our Senior Vice President of Government and Public Affairs. And she's going to share with you some of the programs that they're doing and how it can fit into your chapter. Thank you, Dawn.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Kelly, our colleague, is also going to share a PowerPoint presentation that I put together and go through that with us. And please post questions in the chat, or I don't know how you guys usually do this, but feel free to even just open your microphone and ask any questions as I'm going along, because I'd rather have this be a conversation than just me telling you all of this information. I want to make sure it's valuable to you. So the Foundation for Community Association Research was created by CAI many years ago. Hi, Kate. Kate just sent me a little note. I am outside. This is my backyard because it's so beautiful today. So many years ago, the CAI created the foundation. The Foundation for Community Association Research was created as a 501c3 organization, which is a tax-exempt organization that has different, the ability to accept donations, and those donations that come to the organization are tax deductible in a different way and much more valuable than an organization like CAI, which is a 501c6 organization. Those two different tax determinations, the difference of those is exactly why the foundation was created, because it gives the foundation an opportunity to partner with other organizations, receive contributions and funding from other organizations that CAI wouldn't be able to partner with, or at least wouldn't have the same benefit for the tax exempt status. There's a very narrow focus for the foundation, and that is specifically to support and provide research on the community association housing model. And again, we were established in 1975. We work very closely with CAI, and we are affiliated with CAI while a separate organization. We're affiliated. We couldn't exist without our affiliation with CAI. The foundation is governed by a board of directors, and that board of directors is selected through a nomination process on the board. The governance process is sole and separate from CAI, but again, we work closely and collaboratively. Can you go to the next slide? Thanks. So I'm going to talk to you about some of our, what I'll call our legacy projects and our legacy research projects here at the foundation. And I'll back up because I say here at the foundation. So the foundation staff is shared staff with CAI. The foundation has a memorandum of understanding with CAI for staffing. So we take a piece of the staff from CAI, a little bit of my time, a little bit of other people's time is dedicated to the foundation to sustain the operations of the organization. We also engage consultants as appropriate and necessary. Our director of development is actually a consultant, Melinda Ryan. She is a consultant with the foundation and is responsible for our fundraising. So the reports that are created by the organization are generally created by the CAI staff team, the editorial team, the marketing team, et cetera. But the funds from the program, I'll talk about later how the foundation is actually funded. But some of our legacy projects, best practices reports. We have best practices reports, which are guides that provide an overview of specific topic areas, such as, you'll see them here, energy efficiency, governance, reserve studies, community harmony and spirit, financial operations, reserves, strategic planning, transition from developer control. Those best practice reports include, those are meant for managers and board members of community associations. They're free. You can download them on our website. And there's a link to our website on the CAI website as well. But our website hosts all of these products. So typically a best practice report will include an overview of the subject matter. So let's just say strategic planning, an overview of strategic planning for community associations. It'll include some definitions, it'll include a process, and then it will include some case studies on how strategic planning, or whatever the topic area can be used in a community association. And for those case studies, we try to make sure that they're representative of the community association housing model. So maybe that case study includes a condominium, a large scale community, and a smaller community association. Again, those are free of charge. We don't charge for them, and we encourage all chapters, when people call you, I know I've been in your shoes, and people call you and say, hey, I don't know anything about reserves. Can you help our community? I would send them right to this the best practice report and say, here's something that you can download free. And then of course you can go to the exchange, and you can go to the CAI bookstore for even more information. So that's our best practice reports. You can also, you can move forward, so thanks for moving forward. You can also buy a compiled best practice report. Members or any customer can buy a compiled printed best practice report, all of them together on the CAI bookstore. We do sell that only because there's a cost for production, but the downloads that are PDFs are available free of charge on the website. We also, yes.
This is Kate, I have a question. Are these best practices the same as tied into the booklets, the practitioner ones, the 26 booklets?
No, that's such a great question. The gap reports?
Yes.
No, so CAI sells gap reports, and the topics that I just mentioned on the best practices, most of those topics are also in the bookstore as a separate publication. It's usually separate content, more augmented content, more specific content. So the gap reports are separate and sold from the Foundation's best practice reports. The gap reports, there's a fee for. Some of them are now available online, so you can download them for a fee, but the best practice reports are free of charge. Thanks for asking that question, Kate. Emily, are there any other questions at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Oh, Kelly, thanks. Okay, so the fact book. So, gosh, since the 90s, Cliff Treese, many of you have probably heard his name. He is an insurance professional living in California. He is also probably the most knowledgeable person on industry facts and statistics related to the community association housing model. He has been compiling and providing content for the Foundation's fact book since the 90s. And every year we produce a substantive fact book for the industry that includes information about the number of people living in associations, the number of housing units, the projected growth, the projected percentage of development in community associations, as well as some financial impacts that the industry has on our economy, including the property values of homes in community associations, the amount of money collected in community associations for assessments, and even the amount of money collected for reserves. We also have information related to the number of community association managers, the number of board members, and then a translation of the value of those board members that those board members provide to their communities. So this is super valuable data. We have so much information on our webpage, and we have even state-specific information for facts and statistics. I give you this example right here, which is just California. This right here, we have a one-pager, and then we have this little infographic as well. We have this for every single state. It gives information about facts and statistics of the community association housing model in your state. This information can be found on our website. We also use this a lot in our legislative efforts. The chapters use this a lot for media efforts, for just gaining relationships, establishing credibility, etc. In addition to this one pager and this infographic that you see here, every single state has a summary, has a publication of its own each year on the foundation's website. I think that publication is approximately 10 pages, and it goes into a bit deeper information on your state and some industry data and statistics. So that's a lot of information. Oh, thanks, Callie. Yes, and these one-pagers and these infographics are actually also on the on Media Valet. So lots of tremendous information here. Thanks so much. So that homeowner satisfaction survey is also on Media Valet, something you guys can push out however you want, whenever you want. I often use it in my presentations because it's really great data and information. So the foundation commissions a third party to collect this data information about how happy people are living in their community association. And you saw all the data and statistics here. Generally speaking, people are really happy living in their community associations. Generally, they like their managers, they like their neighbors, they like their board members, they even like their rules and think that their rules protect their property values. All of this is not what you and I hear when we answer the phone from someone calling who has a complaint about their association, or this isn't what we read in the newspaper or hear on the news when there's, some newscaster who's live on your side, 5 on your side, trying to help some homeowner who doesn't like their rule and they're trying not to comply with their rule. Generally speaking, people are overwhelmingly satisfied living in their community association. So we find this homeowner satisfaction survey to be very valuable. When I talk about this survey, often people will say, oh, I'm a member of CAI and I've been a member of CAI for 15 years. I've never seen this survey, or I've never seen nobody has asked me if I'm satisfied. Well, we don't actually ask CAI members. We commission a third party polling organization. They go out to their lists and ask people how happy they are living in their association. So the data that we receive here is not from people who are already engaged in CAI. These are just people who are random people that we ask to see if they're happy with their homeowners association. We also have done some oversampling of the homeowner satisfaction survey in different states so that we can compare that information to what the national information. And we typically do that. We do the homeowner satisfaction survey every other year. It's expensive, but we also think that the content is sustainable for 2 years. We've done this for the last 14 years, every other year, that is. And the results are so consistent. We always ask the same questions so that we can benchmark the results to previous years. And the homeowner satisfaction has really remained so strong. So we've done some oversampling, and we've done this in states where there's either really difficult media or media pressure, or there's really difficult legislative pressure. So I'm going to try to rattle these off. I may not have them all, but we've done an oversampling in California, Florida, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and New Jersey, and Virginia. So those states have their own specific homeowner satisfaction survey. If you work in one of those states and you're a new chapter executive director, a new president, and you'd like that information, just shoot me an email and I'll help you find that information on our website. Okay, so we also, another one of our legacy projects that we've been doing for many, many years is a compensation and salary survey for the community association management profession. We're the only organization, national, international organization for community association managers. While there are some state organizations, we're the only one that is around nationally and internationally. So we just launched our new compensation and salary survey. Again, we've been doing this for more than a decade. Typically every 3 years we do this survey. We were supposed to launch it last year, but in the middle of a pandemic, asking people about their salaries just seemed like they might not respond, and things were in flux. So we deferred it, and we just launched this salary survey recently. What's really cool about this salary survey is we caught up with technology in that people can go in, put in their compensation and salary information, and they'll be able to pull their own report and benchmark their salary, their compensation against others. They'll be able to pull it against others, not individually, but on an aggregate level, of course, regionally, based on job description, based on credentials that have been earned, and other sorts of filters. So this is super exciting. We also will later in the year have a publication that we will be selling that has some aggregate information on compensation and salary. So while this is for the community association management profession, that's what the focus is of this salary survey. We do have for CEOs, as well as portfolio managers, large-scale managers, on-site managers, as well as some others who are maybe employed by the association, lifestyle managers, activity directors, et cetera. We tried not to go too much into the management company structure, more of the manager structure. We also have an extended piece of the salary survey for large-scale community associations that is really robust and allows large-scale communities to enter a lot of information about their staffing, the number of homes they have, the budget that they have, et cetera, so that piece is even more robust for the large-scale managers. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, in addition, those are kind of our core programs that we've had for years and years. In addition to that, we also publish contemporary research reports. So on topics that are of interest at any given time to the community association housing model. Typically, these topics come through conversations through our think tank. So the foundation has a think tank, which is a group of, it's a pay-to-play type of conversation. People make a contribution to participate in the think tank, and then they have an opportunity quarterly to have conversations with each other and with the foundation board and the foundation research committee about topics that they think are really important to the community association housing model. And then after a process by which they vet these topics and bring others into the conversation, they determine whether these topics would benefit from a research study and then a publication. So then what we do is go through the process of, okay, yeah, looks like I'll use one that we just are going to be releasing soon, which is attracting talent to the community association management industry. If you've talked with management companies recently, you probably hear that they need help. They need more managers. They can't find enough quality managers to be able to deliver their services. So what we did was we had this group that talked about this topic, identified what the issues were with the topic. Then we go to our research committee and say, hey, we think we should do some research on this. The research committee says yay or nay, asks some good questions. And then it goes to the foundation board of directors, and the board of directors says yay or nay. And then if yay, we move forward and we do a research project, and then we do a publication based on the content that we received. So with these I think, and all of these things that I've already talked about are great, is great content for the chapters. This is free to anybody, and the foundation, we rely on CAI and we rely on our chapters to take this content and deliver them. We are happy to provide you with recommendations for speakers who we know are participated in these research reports, participate in these topics, and can be great speakers for you. But you can also just take the information and share it on your website or share it in your newsletter. take any of this information, copy paste it, just source us and make sure that people know it's coming from the foundation, and put it out there to your members. It can be delivered as part of your publications, part of your webinars, presentations at the chapter level, at your conferences, or again, articles that you may want to use on a blog post or social media, etc. We have two of these contemporary research projects that I noted. We have others as well. I just pulled the most recent. Breaking Point, which is really great. It examines the infrastructure and community associations, kind of aging communities, as well as reserve funding in communities. And then Technology and Cybersecurity was published in 2018. Both of those still very current and valuable information. And then we just released one just this week, Creating Harmony in Diverse Communities, and that's related to the number of discrimination claims in community associations. And then again, the Attracting Talent to Community Association Management. So these are exciting projects, and we'd love for the chapters to use this material and deliver it to your members as well. Was there a question? I think I just saw one pop up.
Yes. Dawn, so the question is, if they did a webinar about any of these things, would they qualify for CEU credit?
Yes. Yep, they would.
And you still have to go through the same process of submitting the application and everything for that, just like you would with your other programs?
You know what? That's a really great point. Here's what I'll tell you. If you want to do this presentation, just reach out to me. Jake Gold, who I'm sure most of you know, he is also contributes some of his time to the foundation. So he and I work really closely on the foundation matters, and we're happy to do an application to CAM-ICB and to CAI if necessary for continuing education for all of these. So each chapter doesn't have to do their own. Any other questions? Okay. I just want to check my time, see how I'm doing on time. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so there are also other research projects that the foundation funds. We have what's called the Byron Hankey Award, and those are funds from a gentleman who passed away, who left money to the foundation. His name is Byron Hankey, and these research project funds are used for graduate students to support their research on particular issues related to the community association housing model. This is really cool because these are people who are not part of CAI. These are people who are not living and breathing community associations every day, but they're for some reason interested in a topic related to the community association housing model. Right now we have two particular researchers who should be done with their research by June. And the topics that they're looking at include property values in community associations, which should be very interesting. And the other one is related to a form of a redevelopment concept that is used in Florida. So it's a specific Florida-based research project. They're what's called community development boards that work separately from the community association, and so they're looking at how that impacts the overall structure of a community association. I'm not explaining it as well as I'd like to, but once we have the findings from the research project, I'm sure I'll be much better at explaining it. And then newly, we have a Homeowner Leader of the Year award. A gentleman named Link Cummings and his wife, Marty Klein. Link Cummings is here in the Washington, D.C. area. He was one of the founders of CAI back in 1973. He is still alive, a wonderful man who's very involved in the foundation, made a significant contribution to the foundation for specifically to recognize a homeowner leader who has gone above and beyond and made substantial contributions to their association. And part of that award is a trip to the annual conference to be recognized for their contributions. We just started publishing this award. None of you have probably seen this yet. It'll be sent next week in a quarterly email that we do, which is called the Catalyst, coming from the foundation. It will include information about the Homeowner Leader of the Year Award. You'll also see information in the midweek. Emily, is it this week or next week on this Homeowner Leader of the Year Award?
They'll be receiving that today or tomorrow, so they can.
Awesome. So watch for it. It's a nomination process. So an individual may not self-nominate themselves, but chapters could nominate them, chapter boards could nominate them, their board could nominate them. Maybe they're a community association lawyer, manager, insurance representative, banker, anybody can nominate someone who they believe has done an outstanding job as a community association leader. So let's talk about how the foundation is funded. It's really a pretty small organization. It is probably the size of from a financial standpoint, the size of a medium to large chapter, I would say. It's about $250,000 annual operating budget, so not a lot. And here's where we get our money from. You've probably seen on membership applications and membership renewal notices, there's a checkbox for the Foundation for Community Association Research. I don't even remember off the top of my head how much that is. I think it varies based on the membership category. Is that right, Crystal?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I should know that. So that money that's collected through membership dues goes directly to the foundation. That's probably 70% of the funds of the foundation. We also have two major campaigns for fundraising. One is the think tank, which I talked to you about, which is a pay to play, pay to have a conversation and think broadly about the community association housing model. The other is a big picture campaign, and that is recognizing people who recognize the need to have a big picture conversation about the community association housing model. Those contributions can range anywhere from $50 on up to thousands of dollars. And we recognize individuals for both of those contributions. And then just randomly, people make contributions to the foundation, which is amazing. Some of our chapters make contributions, and we really appreciate that. And some of those on the call, I know Kate has made contributions. The Illinois chapter has made Kate from the Arizona chapter has made contributions, a number of chapters. So we really appreciate that support. And that's kind of the foundation funding mechanism. So that's what I have to present to you today. I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have. I just thought it would be valuable to give an overview of those major areas. There's much more, you know, kind of on a day-to-day basis, but I think those are the major areas that maybe will help you in your role. Are there any questions?
You can feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask the question, or you can put it in the chat box.
Dawn, this is Chris in Las Vegas.
Hi, Chris.
How are you? Thanks.
I'm great.
You and Phoebe this week. We're having fun here in Nevada.
Oh, yikes. I can't wait to be there in August. I'm super excited.
Oh, I met with Tom Skiba and Amy and Holly yesterday, and we toured the facility, and it is amazing.
That's awesome.
You're going to love it. I have a question on where I'm on the foundations section of the website. Where do I find that homeowner survey you just showed us?
So it is called the Homeowner Satisfaction Survey. I think if you go to research projects.
I got it. Okay.
Great.
It's PDFs though, not the
video should be on there. Otherwise, go to
Media Valet.
Media Valet for the
okay,
video.
I'll check there later. I'll know where to start. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks. Great to see you.
Emily put in the chat a link to the PDF of the homeowner survey as well.
I have a question.
What's up, Kate?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Good to see you.
So good to see you guys. So I know I've asked this before, but will there ever be a time where executive directors can ever get involved and help support your mission with this? Because I think
Yes.
it's an important mission, and I mean, I'd love to be more involved, and it's just a different branch of what we do every day.
It is. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about what that looks like and what you think it looks like, because we are totally open to it. I think previously there's been conversation about chapter executive directors serving on the board of directors of the foundation. And I don't really get that, because I feel like we should have our subject matter experts serving on those boards, but I would love to have like an advisory council or something like that from the chapter executive directors to connect with the foundation. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
And then you can share it when you're whatever you come up with, then I would love to have you share.
I mean, I use your resources all the time.
Yeah.
And along with some of the stuff that's on the bookstore. And I mean, I've even created classes from some of the foundation as continuing ed classes, some of the foundation best practice stuff you were just talking about. So I just see the value of us supporting. It's more of a supporting role. And for somebody who has an extensive fundraising background, I just feel not only giving, but supporting. And I'm looking more at a fundraising, like how can we help? Not that we don't have all, you know, everybody has something different on their plate, but how do we support you? Not just so much giving money too, but putting our time in and helping you raise money that you need to do the things that you do, because it only enhances and makes my life a lot easier.
Well, right. I mean, that's exactly right. This makes us a credible, even more credible organization. It positions us really great amongst other organizations. So, you know, I'd love to talk to you about it. And if there are others who'd like to, you know, get together and have a conversation about this, well, I would love to do that and bring this conversation to the foundation board. It would be great. Thanks, Kate. Appreciate that. Anybody else?
Any other comments or questions from the audience?
I got a question for you, Dawn.
Yeah. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
So there wouldn't be an issue if we did a fundraiser at one of our events for the foundation?
That would be amazing. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
And what we're going to start doing with our our webinars and things like, not webinars, but with our publications and reports is if the chapter wants to do something awesome, great, maybe what we can do is present, let's just say the best practice reports, all of them. They say we want to do that. Then maybe at the end, we can do an appeal, a fundraising appeal for the foundation. So the chapter doesn't lose any money because you get your sponsorships and you get your registration fee, but we can just do an extra fundraiser for the chapters or something like that. But yes, if you want to hold a fundraiser for the foundation, that would be fantastic. And love to work with you on that.
Crystal?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Vicki. That made me think real quick. Sorry, Vicki. Haven't we touched on it during our president-elect trainings and things like that? Wouldn't it be a good time to talk about this again and more, what do you want to say, voluntold to get involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit, I think it was on a chapter executive director call about charities and causes to support and how to manage that process. We want to support our industry. So the foundation is an excellent nonprofit, tax exempt organization to provide funding to. So that's a great thing. That is something that we're going to continue to have the conversations with this group about. Awesome.
Sorry, Vicki,
thank you.
Cut you off.
I think
That's okay.
Vicki had another.
What I was thinking is doing a game at our golf outing and have all the proceeds go to the foundation.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
Or we can
yeah,
Vicki, and take a percentage of them and give them to the foundation.
True too.
Kate always trying to up the fundraising game. I love it.
Yeah. 20 years of working at the YMCA and in their endowment fundraising program for the national, you know.
Yep. Okay.
I'll come out and play golf with your group.
Okay. It's June 18th if you plan on it.
Oh, wow. So you're actually having one soon. That's fantastic. That's so exciting.
Yeah, a lot of chapters are having outdoor events.
That's great.
Well, some are having other events as well, but golf has been a popular one through the pandemic.
That's awesome.
So Dawn, could you send me some information that I could put out at the CAI booth at our exhibitor fair on May 19th?
Yep, I would love to.
Okay.
And on that note, actually, too, with sharing information, Dawn, as things move along and as chapters begin to have more in-person events, it would be great if there were some kind of standard materials that chapters could have available for their trade shows. We send them, information for different events and stuff. So if you and Jake have any items that would be relevant to have out, let us know. We'll pass them along.
We'll definitely do that. We'll definitely do that. And one of the things that we like to do as well is, we have a lot of great videos. So even if we could impose upon the chapter to have a kind of computer and screen on a table showing those videos on a loop, we can put together something that would be, that could work for that too, and then complement it with some printed hard copy materials.
Awesome. Great. Any other questions for Dawn? Okay.
Yes, Kate, I'll put something together for you.
Oh, I see in the chat. I was like, what are you talking about? Quicker than me on the chat. Great. Well, if there's no other comments, feel free to reach out to Dawn. Emily, can you add Dawn's email in the chat so you can reach out to her if you have any questions, or any of the chapter team, and we're happy to get you some answers as well. Thank you all for participating today. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing all of this awesome information about how the chapters can use it. And with that, we will close out our program for the day. And next week, executive directors, we have a water cooler, and presidents, we have a sharing session. So please mark your calendars, and we'll see you there.
Thanks, Crystal. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you.
If you have any questions, please contact a member of the Chapter Relations team or email chapterlearning@caionline.org.